Speaking of Ice Cube, good day, everyone. Welcome to the Sunday Savage Blitz, the first Savage Race weekend of the year. We had an amazing start to yesterday's race. I'm sure we'll talk about that. My name is Matt B. Davis, and over there, Pride of Wisconsin, 50 plus OCR podiums, maybe first places to his name. I should get your stats better. It's Bracken Crocker.
Matt, every time I think we've reached the pinnacle of your production values, you drop a new intro package on me that completely blows it out of the water.
This show, if you started with us at our humble beginnings, I mean, we are rising up and up and up. So the story of today, Bracken, speed, a Savage Blitz. Who are you excited to see? What are you excited about seeing versus yesterday's coverage?
This seems like a strange thing to be excited for, but I just, for day two races, get excited to see who comes back. Because that morning after race day, when you've had a rough race, and everyone had a rough race, even people who ran well yesterday, the competition was so deep, they all had a tough race. Waking up at 5 or 6 to get your breakfast in before day two, there's a lot of people who will just think, I'll snooze. So I'm excited to see who gets up and goes back after it again.
But if you make the trip, right, it's one thing if you've already got the early flight back, which happens for a lot of folks. They try to get home as quick as possible. But if you've made the trip, you know what I mean? Aren't you going to race?
I'm with you. Yeah. And then the realization that short OCR starts as a running race and quickly becomes a really fatigued obstacle race. I like watching that happen. You have all the people day two who are like, I'm really, really fast. Let's go rage. And then 600 meters in, they realize, oh man, obstacle races sometimes are way tougher when you don't have a lot of running in between obstacles. And we saw obstacles matter yesterday. They're going to matter in triplicate today.
Well, let's look at who was out early that faded. We had Woods, we had Alvaro. So could those guys maybe hold on today with a shorter course?
I mean, in theory, yeah, they could. But we also saw the obstacle guys come on late yesterday, and they're not going to have time to fall behind today before their obstacle proficiency matters. And Aaron Newell, what happened there yesterday? He faded and ran a spectacular race. He led, he was out of the picture, and then almost took second and hung on for third. So it's almost impossible to predict a shorter course OCR because there's so much chaos.
Aaron said in his post that he was as far back as 9th, and I don't remember that, but he must have been, right? Like we just couldn't see him, I guess, for a while.
Yeah. There was so much position changes, so many position changes happening that it was crazy out there. There was no predicting it.
As we got our first beautiful shot of the start line there here in beautiful. It's not Gainesville, is it? I should know these things, right? Is it Gainesville, Florida?
I don't think it's Gainesville.
Well, because they go to Gainesville.
This one,
Dade City.
Dade City. Thank you, Jessica. I feel horrible. What an idiot. Good morning, Carlos.
Matt, last night I watched the Tokyo Marathon. And
oh shoot, I forgot. Did our boy win it?
He did. But it struck me the dichotomy between two different forms of running, where all that happened in this marathon is everyone clicks into a pace and they hold on as long as possible and slowly just 1, 2, 3 drop off, and it whittles down to one person and they win. There aren't any crazy moves. There's not this switching back and forth and leapfrogging each other. And what we watched that morning was the dead opposite. You had constant change up. If you took a snapshot of the race at any point in the first 10 minutes, it did not represent what the podium looked like. And today's going to be like that again. And it kind of just reminded me why our version of this sport is really special.
Our version of the marathon, you mean?
Of running, of bipedal racing.
I've said it once. I've said it 1,000 times. We have the most fit people, some of the most fit people on the planet. And the more I watch CrossFit, other really random sports. I saw some version of wiffle ball on YouTube last night. I'm not sure exactly what it is. They call it, I forget what they call it, but it's got big giant DraftKings sponsor. I mean, it always amazes me that we can't find more ways to get our people, the Ryans, the Lindsays, the Idas out in front of the world.
It doesn't make sense, but what we can say for certain is that if you do well at OCR, you check a lot of those fitness boxes that people want to talk about in terms of being an all-around fit athlete.
Correct. Eric C says Tokyo was a good race to watch. Excited for today as well. So you watched the marathon. Did you watch the High Rocks? And you watch the fights? It was a full day of sports for you.
I told the kids yesterday, this is going to be a sports day. You can just get on the train or you stay off the tracks, but this is what's happening.
Right. Well, I never stay up to watch the fights. I sometimes go back and find highlights, but yeah, I can't. I mean, I'm 1 hour ahead of you, right? So
Yeah.
they start. What time is the big one on usually?
It went off at probably 11:30 last night. It didn't finish till after midnight, and that's too late for me, man. I miss Colorado when things were another hour behind and football started at 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Things are done by the time the sun goes down. We're getting too old for this. We're like Murdoch and
Murtaugh.
Did I say Murdoch?
You did say Murdoch.
That's embarrassing.
Who did you have in the big fight, by the way?
My heart said Masvidal, but my mind knew that he had one way to win, and it wasn't going to happen. Colby Covington, say what you want about him, and I will. He's just really, really good at what he does.
Well, I'm going to pull up this link really quickly and share it with the world on the old Instagram.
So
go ahead.
No, finish that thought.
No, I'm just sharing links. That's all.
Share that link. I'm curious. What percentage of yesterday's men's elite field and female elite field do you think will show back up? You think we have all but like 2 or 3, or do you think?
Yeah, I think unless you just can't hang short distance, or you really had to get back home. The only people we know for a fact are Edith and Leon, who wanted to go ahead and altitude train, I guess, at Big Bear. Like that's what they left to go do.
Big Bear, really? I thought they were in Colorado and VJ.
Slow. Sorry. Everyone else, I assume is around. I think Nick's coming back. I mean, I think they're all coming back. Nick, by the way, we wondered what happened to Nick. Nick was in that lead pack and he fell off. Of all things, he fell off
that tree hugger.
The matchsticks, yes, tree hugger. He said he fell off tree hugger 5 times.
Yeah. He said he ran a phenomenal, or he said he had the race of his life going. He had worked up to second place. He said he's coming back today with fire in his heart and the shortest shorts he owns.
Wow.
I think he's taken a page out of the Jared Flank playbook, which is when in doubt, switch up your shorts.
Well, I mean, that clearly was the difference, right?
In 2022, it's never failed anyone that we know of. It's a golden ticket. In my take on this, which obviously doesn't have to apply to anyone but me, but if you go out and you have a rough day at the office at an OCR race, even though I'm not a huge personal fan of racing back-to-back days because my old creaky body doesn't enjoy it, I think one of the beautiful things on the sport is you can get right back on the horse the next day. Even if you don't think you have a chance of being successful, you get to go out and re-practice those things that you struggled with. And in other sports, you might have to wait a week or a month or 6 months before you get another crack at the thing that knocked you down. And here, like Nick, for example, he gets to go out and do the exact obstacle 24 hours later and get it out of his system. And I think that's a pretty valuable thing to be able to do.
So back when you guys were racing pretty much, it seemed like every weekend, would you do that with Spartans? Would you do a lot of double days?
No, only when they put cash on day 2. It was pretty much the only time I did it. That's
really?
A real selfish way of doing it. Yeah, I don't like racing 2 days in a row. I'd rather race 3 times in one day than back-to-back days.
Okay.
I get really stiff and sore if I have to go to sleep in between. But if I can just stay up and race, that's much better for me.
Okay.
Very strange.
We're waiting for the men here to do their thing. Oh, this is a nice, pretty shot this morning. Look at that.
We're not seeing that low-hanging cloud cover and the fog that we had yesterday. It just looks hot to me.
I wish I was there.
We're still in the middle of winter here. This looks unbearably warm.
There's somebody doing some strides. Looks like Sean
Roberts. Now, this should impact things. We had several athletes talk about how wet the obstacles were yesterday, despite there not being any rain. Just the humidity, the dampness in the air left everything really wet. And if today is bright and sunny from the beginning, a lot of that should be burnt off.
Eric C says it's early in the season. Why not get more time on course? Well, I think he just explained it to you that this is not what he likes to do. Just doesn't want to do that.
No, I promote it. And if I were here at Savage, I would do both days. Just my old man body doesn't like day 2.
Oh, was that
There's Nick?
That's Nick.
That I feel let down.
That he jumped up or that he didn't?
That those shorts are not nearly as short as he led me to believe they'd be.
Right. All right, who are we getting to look at here? There's our boy Alvaro. There's Jared, the man of the hour yesterday. There's Nick.
Nick. Oh, is he rolling the shorts now?
I don't know what he did there.
Jared Flank is going to be interesting to watch today because oftentimes in a weekend of racing or in stage racing, if you're watching some sort of like trail or mountain stage race, people get event momentum. And even if they maybe weren't the person everyone had eyes on coming in, that first race gives them just a huge amount of confidence moving forward. And then they race at a level that you haven't seen them do repeatedly. And so Jared might be in that position now where he has such confidence coming off day 1 that he just really puts it to effect again right away on day 2.
All right, so I saw Air Force Ken there, but we are missing a lot. I thought we'd see Kempson. I thought we'd see a lot of the guys from yesterday. It looks like they're taking the day off.
Do we have any Sarah intel here out on course?
Oh, hang on. This is Sarah's. Hang on. This is Jess's cam.
Where's Aaron? Is he not doing this today?
Yeah, let's get Sarah to hop up real quick. Sarah.
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't see him yet. He went out to warm up.
Okay. Well, the race is going to start in 2 minutes, so.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to pop off here real quick. Wrong one.
There he is.
All right, let's hide, Bracken.
Let's hide.
Let's get this thing going.
You speak his name and he arrives. Aaron Newell's at the start line. Sean Roberts might race in a hat today. That's something we don't see a lot in OCR. This is probably the race you can get away with it.
Because there's no water submersion?
No water. I don't know if they hit the crawl today or not, but it didn't look incredibly low.
Last time they started a surprise on us. Let's keep the volume up.
All right, we got a handful of them. Swings up the dynamic a little bit.
Dylan Scott checking in, crushing High Rocks yesterday. Way to go, buddy.
Dylan yesterday had one of the more impressive days I've ever seen. Doing 2 High Rocks in a day. That's another level of toughness and fitness.
And there they go. So a much less stacked field as yesterday. I am surprised. Sean out early.
Blitz.
As well he should be. He has speed to burn compared to a lot of these top other athletes in here, and there probably isn't going to be a ton of wide open running.
We didn't. Did you get any intel on what he failed yesterday, or if he did, and how he fell
I didn't.
back? Who is this trying to keep up with him unwisely?
I don't know. He's in a t-shirt, which never bodes well.
I run in a shirt. What are you talking about?
Well, I believe that you could predict with some accuracy the finish order by watching what people warm up, how their warm up is, and what they wear at the start line.
Right.
And he would check the box of someone I wouldn't have put in the top 5 just based off wearing a baggy t-shirt.
Right.
That's usually the OCR faux pas.
Right. As the women are coming into the field here, we got our first look at the women. Let's see.
Who is this coming up now?
Let's. I know who that is. It's the guy I couldn't name yesterday, I think. Nope.
No, he's not as tall.
Oh, that's T-Rex, Brett. Hey, Brett. Brett was the guy in the shirt, but this is that Alvaro?
That's got to be Alvaro. Yep, he switched up shorts on us, but that's Alvaro's running form there.
Well,
good call.
I'm going to put Alvaro as my pre-race favorite.
And I'm going to take either Nick or Sean. I think Nick's got a bunch of confidence after almost doing it yesterday. And Sean, I look at him like a computer. He ran yesterday. It may not have gone well, but he was absorbing. He was taking in all the data, I mean, he's an engineer at a pretty high level, and he's going to take in all the data, make his adjustments, his course corrections, and he's going to come out and execute today.
Do we already get Colossus this early?
I think it comes back the other way, so no.
Okay, I don't know who we're looking at here.
Unless they do it reverse, which would be, I am incorrect. They do hit it this early.
Lee, is that's Alvaro, correct, Lee? Corey says, I love bracket comparisons. I would say so too. Analogies is the term. So they're neck and neck here, coming out of the water. Is that Nick? Here comes Nicky.
This is Sean's swimming hat.
So you got 5 men in the water, same time.
Entering water very early like that is a very draining feeling for some reason, even if that obstacle isn't that difficult. Because you have to hold your breath going in, you instantly put yourself at a little bit of an oxygen deficit there. And then having to swim out, it's just obnoxiously fatiguing.
All right, let's watch what we can here. I think Sean just got a couple seconds in these guys. Nick, is Nick struggling again? Is that Nick? Nick looked like he took a couple times there.
I think he was just a little slow in and out of the water. Although Alvaro's all the way back there now.
Oh, and the women are off as well. This looks like Sarah. Sarah, is that you following the women? Sarah, is that you?
Yeah.
Who do we have in the front here? Is that Miranda and I can't quite tell you.
Miranda, Chris, and who's in the green?
Number 3, Taylor Sadeo. It doesn't look like her though. Is there number 3?
No, in the green. I don't know what her number is.
Okay. Can't read it.
It's okay. We'll find out.
Miranda and Chris for sure, and then one bogey in third there.
Well, she said Taylor Cedeno, which is possible. Taylor's made a lot of Spartan podiums last year. It says better than Shriveled Richard that early. Did we get Shriveled Richard yesterday?
If we did, it was not on cam.
Jess, is Shriveled River on the course?
So boys, step on it.
Step on it.
Yes, Shriveled is on the course today.
Say that again, Jess. Sorry.
Yes, Shriveled is on the course today.
Okay, thank you.
Matt, do you want to break down for the crowd exactly what a blitz is, if they haven't tuned in, how it differs from the standard race?
So Blitz Savage invented a couple of years ago. It is the short course. Is it 3K or less? Or is it 5K or less?
5K or less. I've seen them typically around 2.5 to 3 miles, I thought.
Yeah, so it's the same course as the previous day, but cut shorter. So they're not going to add any new obstacles. You're just going to do some of the same ones that you did the day before. And a couple of times a year, there's money on the line for it. And today is one of those days. Other days, it's just they're both on the same day. You can do one, you can do the other. Kind of think of like a sprint super same weekend kind of thing. But Savage does offer money, I believe, twice a year. They do a Sunday blitz.
Interesting watching the
Hey,
females.
Matt.
Yes.
Lee is going to follow the first male, and then we are going to follow the battle between second, third, fourth, fifth.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay.
You saw a lot of the guys kind of swimming and dolphin diving through that water, and the girls the women all decided to wade their way through it. Saw Chris reach down there and grab something. I don't know if she's trying to dry off her hands or if she dropped something off her hands.
Lloyd says it's 3 miles today, so 5K.
3 miles on the head. And that's still long enough.
Long enough to what?
To not be a pure compacted short course. There will still be spots of opening up and running.
So that's Miranda first off Wheel World.
That wasn't Chris?
I thought that was Miranda in the red top. You can help me out, Sarah. Who was that off first?
Good. Chris was off first.
Okay, my mistake.
Good.
I'm getting old.
Well, yesterday she did switch up racing tops to that whitish top. It should be mandatory kit for people. The first thing we see you racing, you have to wear it every single time you're on camera.
Yes, and with your name in big letters.
Yeah. We need the Tour de France style header that stays above people's heads so we can see their title and their stats at all times.
That's coming.
I know it's in the pipeline. Now, oftentimes in the sport of OCR, you see people, if it's the exact same course, run faster day 2, which physically makes no sense. But they get a lay of the land. They figure out where they can burn matches and where they shouldn't. They figure out how to get in and out of everything, and they choose better lines through the terrain. And oftentimes they'll outperform day 1 on day 2.
So this is definitely Chris in the lead.
Also, I don't think we've seen her in compression socks before, so that could have been throwing us off. How far behind the men did they start?
It's
5 minutes?
It's supposed to be, yeah. I think it seemed to be 5 minutes today. So Lloyd just typed 3 miles today. Lloyd, are you out there or are you at home?
Well, she already ran down that gap, whatever it was. And they are not that far into the race.
Well, it's 8:08. So if they started at 8, maybe mile 1. It's a faster mile than yesterday, right?
It is.
Faster first mile.
But even if that was only a 1 or 2 minute buffer they put between the men and the women,
she is moving. Look at that.
Yeah, she's eating up the ground quickly.
It must be the compression socks. The blitz today, is it the same payout, Jess? I feel like it's the same payout. I think it's the same payout.
This is a deceptively tiring op score right here.
I mean, she's moving so quick, though. Wow.
She is. But if you don't make it to the top with your hands on it, you've got to exert a little bit to pull yourself up and over. This is one of those, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer.
So that's Miranda in second coming over now.
Mm-hmm. She has company right there again.
As we stare into the sun.
There's a group of 3 women back there, all running for second.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
The winners get 500,
50,
250,
125.
and 125.
Okay, so it's less. It is a little bit less.
Slightly reduced. Still enough. If you're already there, that's a nice little bonus on your weekend.
That's why I thought Kempson might stay out there.
Yeah, I would have thought so too.
Let's see if we can get a look at the men here. Yes, who is that? In the lead.
Now, I don't know if that's lead or not, but that looks like Alvaro.
Oh yeah, Jess said she was going to stay in the second pack. So Lee, let's see. This is Lee's camera I'm looking at.
There's our first Aaron Newell sighting.
Hold here, hold.
Jared Flank, Nick Riker. Ooh.
Oh.
But now, was that intentional or was that an ad lib when he fell?
I feel like that might have been for us.
Keep it tight.
So what was the order there? 1, 2, 3 after that obstacle?
It's like if Sean's out front here, which we think he is, then Alvaro, and then we have 3 people tied. It looked like Nick Riker just behind Aaron Newell, and with him was Jared Flank. Although there might be someone in second in between that pack. That might be the pack battling for third. This is about the spot on the course Nick started working up yesterday, as did Aaron.
What obstacle is this?
That's their new one. That low crawl rig. Right into a transition to rope ladder. They debuted it on the gram, Matt, about a week ago, I think.
Well, so we missed it yesterday, or maybe I was getting coffee.
He might have been. We saw Kempson fly through this yesterday.
And there's Ken. See, he's wearing the same top.
Yeah, that's what a good, respectful athlete's going to do for us.
Carl says he thinks the name is Rise Up. Do you know that Carl Fallish was the 10th most commented yesterday? We can pull up our stats from yesterday.
He cracked the top 10, huh?
He cracked the top 10.
He also had a strong performance at a Deca yesterday. Deca mile.
Which Deca?
No, he's East Coast. I don't know what it would have been considered.
There's a lot of Decas, my friend. I can't keep up.
Neither can I. But it was his debut, so congrats, Carl, from the running Discord.
The running public Discord. I thought we had a good shot there.
All right. Nick Riker.
Nick Riker. Revenge time. Can we get a shot of Nick here?
This is where he was hung up yesterday, and we're going to figure out if he has it figured out.
Is he about to be caught by Miranda? How is that possible? They must have let him go right after.
Well, he's now with people that he was not prior, which means something bad happened.
Oh my God, he failed it again.
That's not Nick.
Okay. I was going to say he's got the yips on the
compression shorts.
Yeah, that would be, good call. Because, he'd be really far back.
And this is on me, Matt. Pale, bald. We tend to be able to pick each other out in a crowd, and I wasn't able to do that. I apologize.
You failed, my friend. All right, so let's see.
Nick's doppelganger will remain there, but Miranda powers through.
I do not know what camera that is. This is interesting. Hang on. There we go.
My stomach started to hurt for Nick there, but it's nice to know that wasn't him.
Nice and easy.
Sarah, who are we looking at here? Or sorry, Lee. Who are we looking at?
It's Alvaro.
Do you mean Alvaro?
Alvaro. You are. He's just such an aggressive runner. He's not someone that you want any part of on a flat course.
What's it like going through your entire life with people not being able to pronounce your first or last name?
It's a badge of honor, Matt.
I mean, when they see it, when the teacher or whoever's looking at it, right, and they just go, they've never seen it before. They've just never seen it. Nobody knows a Bracken, so
no,
it just stops them in their tracks.
And it's bad because the first A of my first name and of my last name are pronounced differently. So it's unfair. There's really no way to get it right.
Wow, that looked like is that Miranda or Rachel?
Yeah, that was Miranda, and that was fast.
That was really fast.
That's as quick as you can get up that.
Right. Even through our somewhat what do you call it?
Pixelated?
When it's a little pixelated like that. She was so quick.
Stop motion graphics.
All right, we are 16 minutes into the men's race. Which means, are we in the final mile already, Lee?
Yeah, they'll be through mile 2 by this point at the pace that they're running with obstacles. My guess is they're holding with obstacles. They're still averaging sub 7 pace through here.
So this is Chris. So I think we just called Miranda again. This is Chris.
Yeah, Miranda. I think this is a different shot now. That was Miranda coming over the last one. Then we accelerated up to Chris here.
Sean just failed that obstacle.
And is that Alvaro on there with him? Who's on the far side? Alvaro's just getting there.
Lee, can we get some intel on this obstacle?
Is that Nick down over there now?
Lee, you got to mute yourself, buddy. Can you give us some intel on this obstacle?
Yeah, this is 2, our classic Savage rig. It's fast and flowy, but right now these stripper poles are wet. So everybody's sliding off, having a hard time.
So are these the men in the lead?
Alvaro just left. Alvaro just took off from the rig. He was the first one through. Looks like Aaron's off to get it. Nice. Aaron's off. Who's it going to be? Sean Roberts, left third.
And Lee, who's that guy on the... Who's this here?
His bib is ripped off. I can't actually get that right now.
The tall guy I forgot yesterday again?
I don't think that's him. This guy, I haven't seen a non-pixelated shot of him yet today.
Go towards Bo's cart. Yes.
Carl trying to be the top commenter today. He can't stop himself.
So is that
Jordan
third?
Well, it's Jordan McDougal.
Jordan McDougal.
According to Liam McDougal, we didn't see him much yesterday. He was at the bottom of that top 10. So today's his day. So with this short left, can those guys close that gap?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because it's one obstacle attempt. I believe we still have one obstacle that could hang you up.
Well, Chris is just running away on the women's side, so I wonder who's behind her. Can we see who's behind her here? Sarah, can you stay there for a second? Do we know who's behind her, Sarah?
Jamie is second.
Okay.
And then Miranda third, coming down the rope right now.
Okay.
Jamie's having herself a good morning.
Looks like there's a couple women coming over.
I don't see any other women. And Chrissy fourth.
Oh, Jamie. Here comes Sean.
Now this is compelling because Sean's one of those people that has the speed to run someone down here. He doesn't have to rely on just obstacles to get back into it.
So this is Jamie in second ahead of Miranda?
Yes.
So Jamie's been around since the early days, since the earliest Savages.
All the way up, ladies. All the way to the top.
A lot of, wow, we got a winner. Are we at the finish?
This looks like Aaron taking second.
How, a 20-minute race? Holy moly. That was quick.
So we missed Alvaro crossing first.
Who did Matt Davis predict a few minutes ago, 20 minutes ago?
Failed to recall. And Sean Roberts taking third. He won't be happy about that rig, but I would say he redeemed himself from yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want to get out and then get up in there for strip victory. Sure.
Well, I'm going to say that I just felt like it was Alvaro's day.
Yay!
You had it. I love this sport. You couldn't find two people more opposite than Sean Roberts and Aaron Newell. Here they are chopping it up post-race.
Right. Lee, who's that in third? Sorry, Jess, who's that in third? Next
Sean Roberts.
No, next to Aaron. Who's that guy next to Aaron? Oh, that's Alvaro.
Mhm.
Alvaro, yeah. Great job.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah, the
too.
rig was really slippery.
He was due. He's been in the mix at all these big races, and he got his now.
I'm going to show you something here.
That Matt?
Yeah, do you want to talk to him?
I'll give him a listen. Gotta.
Right here.
What's up, folks?
Hey, how's it going?
All right, much better than yesterday. Oh man, I hear the echo of myself. Yeah, yesterday I was getting a lot of bad cramps, but today I felt a lot better. I don't mind losing when it's like an obstacle like that. That was tough. But I got through it, and I lost Aaron twice in one weekend, which is probably the low point of my athletic career.
What do you want to say to that, Bracken?
I mean, I could the rig. I was killing it until the rig, and I got third. It was so slippery. Dude, there was 4 of us there at the front.
Well, I think Aaron is going to be thrilled to hear that was the low point of his career.
Yeah. It's hard to look him in the eye right now, but he earned it. Good weekend. Enjoy it.
All right,
let me give you somebody else.
Hey,
Aaron.
okay.
Aaron, get over here and bask in your victory.
What's that? I got second.
I know.
So yeah, I beat Sean Roberts for the second day in a row.
He said it was the low point of his career.
Yeah, no, yesterday was the low point.
So you lost by under 8 seconds, and you beat him by just ahead of 20.
Oh, perfect.
His exact quote is, "I lost to Aaron Newell twice in a weekend, which is the low point of my athletic career."
And possibly life.
Most likely life, yeah.
Aaron, what did you learn yesterday that you applied today? Yesterday you were all over the place.
I started slower, and then they all got a huge gap, and then they all fucked up, except Alvaro. Sorry, I can't see the screen.
It's okay. It's just me and Bracken.
Although you were back in the race, Aaron, before that rig. Where'd you start moving up?
What's that?
You were back in the race before that rig. Where'd you start moving up?
Yesterday?
No, today.
I was 4th going into the rig. Sorry, this is the worst microphone ever.
It's all right, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
I can't hear a thing.
See you later.
Thanks. Sorry. Just give a bye. Thanks, Aaron.
Hey, Jess, see if you can get a sweet top 3 photo of these guys when you get a second.
Well, Nick's not going to be thrilled today.
So Nick finished worse than yesterday, I think.
The old phrase, you either win or you learn, I think that applies this weekend. He knows his fitness is there, and he learned a lot about what it's going to take to be able to run and obstacle at a high level at the same time.
Well, I don't know what he messed up on.
I would assume it was that last rig where everyone got hung up, but these are those little road bumps early in the year that really kind of just eat at you, but they oftentimes are the reason that you have a really successful summer and fall. Sometimes people who come out on fire early, they don't get some of that, forged by fire experience that Nick's getting right now. Sean's getting it right now, and this is gonna pay off for them in their future races.
Well, some people seem to never learn. Some people just constantly go out too hot.
Yeah. Some people never learn. You can only accept the lesson if you listen to it. And I think.
Hey guys, do you want to talk to Alvaro?
I
have a translator.
Sure. He couldn't hear much last time, but sure.
Okay, let's try.
Okay.
Right here.
All right, what do you want to ask?
Hi guys. Hi
Hey,
guys.
can you hear us?
Good morning.
Can you hear us today?
Do you want to ask something to Alvaro?
Yeah, are you
So I'm
hearing
gonna
us?
do the translation for him.
All right, so yesterday he was constantly moving backwards on obstacles, moving backwards through the field. What did he do differently today that he was able to make moves and pass through the obstacles?
Is that a question?
I can't hear.
This is not gonna this is not gonna work. This is too difficult.
I barely hear you guys.
Yeah, let's not do this. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Tell him congrats.
At least we try.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's hard enough to do it with the phone, really hard with the translator. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's unfortunate we didn't get a great finishing shot of the women, but Chris she ran away with it from the start.
Yeah, that was it was definitely, it was never in question, unlike the men.
Is this second or fourth?
That's Jamie in second.
Second. So we have potentially a battle with Miranda and one other for third. Look at Ken rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, man. Don't count him out. Another guy who's been around since 2011, 2012. Early Savage guy. Many axes.
He's either going to get beat or he's not, but he's not going to beat himself. You're just not going to be able to come up with something that's going to surprise him on course.
And here we go. That is Miranda in third.
Another great weekend for her. Hit some podiums, made a little bit of cash. Got her face out there to the world a little bit more. It looks like there's a little more separation between the women than there was just a few minutes ago. I wonder if there were a little bit of redoing on that same rig.
Yeah, once again, I don't know what you dropped off for a second there, Bracken, but Alvaro 2107, Aaron 2116, Sean 2136.
Well, that's a tight cluster. I didn't even realize I dropped out. I thought everyone was ignoring me.
Jordan 2202, so less than a minute between the top 4.
Wow. And that's the way these races should be. That tight spread there is indicative of a good field.
And the women's was a little bit wider. Chris 2516, Jamie 2559, and we're still waiting for the time for Ken Crigliano, 41 years old.
41.
And Jamie is 37, which is like kind of ancient in OCR. I feel like if she started in 2012, like you and I did, right? She was 25. She's a mom now. Way to go.
That was a tight finish for 4th, 5th there. Looks like Rachel came through in 5th.
Let me pull up the stats here. So yeah, you have Miranda. Miranda was about 45 seconds behind Jamie. Let's see if we can pull up all the females here. Bam.
I think yesterday's 3rd place finish just finished 4th.
Jamie is doing Jess is doing the picture thing for us. Beautiful. There we go. Nice. Do you know how much I love a good podium picture?
I mean, I'm starting to get the idea that it's a lot.
Well, you've seen them. You've seen them, your whole life, right?
Oh, I'm aware of what they are. Yeah.
I'm just saying, but especially on ORM, right? You've seen them all these times, right?
I didn't know how near and dear they were to your heart.
It's the most valuable real estate on race day, and I want them quick and I want them good, not too far away. Don't want the sun in their eyes. Want everybody looking at the camera. Harder than you think to get. Harder than you think.
Now, I imagine people scatter after the race. You've got one shot to have them all in one spot, and then they're gone.
Right, but I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia, trying to get my my minions to make it happen, and sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
It's good leadership. It shows through.
Well, listen, when you've built an empire, you know what I mean? You're at the beginnings of your empire. Running public, people wear your shirts, you get recognized a lot, right? Right?
My media empire will not be built. I'm going to leave that to you. I'm never going to be ordering people around for finisher picks. So you got that market.
Are you sure?
Cornered. Yeah, that's not me.
Oops. We want this one to be the big one. How do we do that? Oh, we just drag it. How about this? Whoop. Bam. Oh, I like this look. This is a good look, huh?
That's back end wizardry.
So final thoughts here. Very quick race, quicker than we thought. I feel like it might have been under 3 miles. It was like a 20-minute race.
Well, I mean, those guys are all running low 5 pace on the flats, add in obstacles, and you're still keeping 6 to 6 low, and that's a 20-minute 5K.
Did you have anybody in today's race?
I did not. I had no running public athletes on camera so far.
Well, let's take a final look at the let's take a final look at the top 10 of both. See if we see any surprises or anything. All right. So anything jump out at you here? Kevin Thompson is the tall guy. I kept forgetting his name. Sorry, Kevin.
Well, Jordan McDougall. Jordan had a redemption day. That's fantastic to see. He's been a guy who's been plugging away in the sport. He first came in, the first time I saw him was back at OCR World Championships, the inaugural year, I believe.
Right.
And he's been plugging away that entire time. He's a big talent. He's a tough guy. He also lives a normal life. He's not one of the people out there who's just racing full time. And it's awesome to see him pop up and have a redemption day from yesterday. Kevin Thompson, I think that exceeded some people's expectations there.
And then Noel Medina, I recognize. Johnwell Mendez, Richard Shin, and Joshua Nemeth, I'm not sure I've seen before. So welcome to the top 10 of a very good field today.
And I love seeing that Masters label.
Yeah, baby.
And look what it's sitting at. It's sandwiched between a 30 to 34, a 25 to 29, and an 18 to 24.
All right, let's pull up the women. We might not have 10 women yet.
We're at 6.
How do you know?
Well, it's hard to keep track, but I'm at 6.
And you would be correct, sir. So I would say this is a standard Savage top 5 for the women, right?
That looks like the classic. If you had to throw a template out there, if you weren't at the race, you might just throw this up and be correct.
Right. You could go 5 for 5 on Jack's poll.
Yeah. In some order, Chris is probably going to be near the top, and Jamie, Miranda, Chrissy, Rachel, They've all been up there in every one of these spots.
Yeah, I want to say every one of these women has won an axe or two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
again, Jamie. Go ahead.
I should say that's not as big of a spread as I thought Chris had. Jamie ran a heck of a race today. Kept it under a minute in a 5K with Chris on obstacles that were giving the men issues. That's a really, really solid result.
Hey, Sarah. Is this Sarah?
Yep.
You want to see if we can try to talk?
Chris?
Let's see if we can.
Yeah, hold on. Chris, can we have you go? Yeah. Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You look nice and smooth out there. How is it feeling?
Oh, it felt fantastic.
What, if anything, did you learn yesterday racing against someone from overseas who you don't have a lot of experience against? Did you learn anything from her, or was it just the course?
I was just running slow yesterday, or slower than I should have. I have excuses, I have reasons, but I just ran slower, so I was ready to run faster today. That was the biggest thing, I think.
Okay. That's a pretty honest take.
Yeah. Yeah, I was pretty sore going into yesterday. Still could have ran fast, should have been fast, but just didn't have it.
Wait, there's not a chance that you did something prior to a race that left you sore, is there? Is this the first time we've ever seen you come in not perfectly fresh into a race?
First time ever.
Wow, look at that.
This one was especially dumb. See, if I do something the weekend before, I'll be fine, but I did something midweek and didn't go well.
Even for you, that's pushing the envelope.
Was it 22.2? Is that what you did?
No, I actually did Yancey's monthly challenge for his 50th year. He's doing like a crazy challenge every month, and probably should have not done it 2 days before a race, 3 days before a race.
Well, you look better out there today. You look like you were running with some real tempo and some urgency.
I was ready.
Well, Chris, I know you're not going to believe this, but I also turned 50 this year. I know you can't believe it. There's no way Mappy Davis is 50.
No way.
Maybe I'll do like a Dunkin' giveaway, right? Like if you drink Dunkin' every day for a month, maybe.
Or do Yancey's challenge. You can just celebrate along with Yancey.
If you can only see my face right now. What's next?
SLO next weekend.
No rest for the wicked.
I'm glad you didn't say I'm going to hit something hard Wednesday or Thursday before slow. So I'm excited to see you out there.
Never. All right. It should be fun. Thanks, guys.
See you later.
See ya.
You just love to see it. Just awesome attitude. Like, won't even make the excuse she wanted to. You know what I'm saying? She's like, yeah, I've got reasons. You know what I mean? Like there's something niggling or something she didn't like about it. I'm not even going to say it. I'm just going to, you know what I mean? Love it. Gotta love it.
Plus, she's only 3, maybe 4 weeks out from 100. She ran a sub 24 hour, maybe sub 23 hour 100-mile trail race just 2 weeks ago. How many athletes in this sport don't take that as their down month before they rebuild back up? And she's like, well, let's get back into it. And I'll probably hit a midweek workout race and then we'll race a double race that weekend. It's just, she's built and wired a little differently.
I was about to say, I think built different is the phrase. And I guess it's one of those things that, you know, I was talking about this guy who did the AT trail and who ran. The guys that run these multiple day things, like you've heard of the Transcendence, right? 3,100 mile, like it's for them. It's like, that's what it's about. It's like, what can the human body do? And he said, day 3 and 4 were miserable, but by day 7, 8, the body's like, oh, I see what we're doing here. And it got easier, which is just, you know, look at somebody like Chris, who just is young and fit and just decided, I don't want to specialize. I like DECA. I like 100 milers. I like Savage. I like Blitz. I like Super. I like Sprint. And it's just impressive to see.
It is. Now you hit it on the head with both of those. A, she's young. Will we see her doing the same type of frenetic racing schedule in 10 years? I don't know. But the other is she just doesn't accept the fact that it's not the right thing to do. And once the decision to not do it's out the window, sometimes you unlock a little bit extra that a lot of people never even find out about.
All right. You were that young once. You weren't doing 100 milers the week after your stadium races.
No, I didn't do a 100-mile period.
Right.
No,
but
she's different and she embraces it, and then it's not different to her. And that's a cool place to be at mentally and physically.
Yeah, let's get another look for people who just popping in here on the final. Do we have any final words before we wrap up this weekend of Savage? First of all, it's the point series is happening. So everybody yesterday starts with 100 for the winner and goes down from 99. So all those people are leading the board. And then today was just a fun day for folks who wanted to go back out twice. I am surprised we didn't see Woods. I'm surprised we didn't see a lot of those guys.
Yeah, I am too. But I think I'll just end with your quarterly reminder from us to get your grip work in. That's our takeaway from all these. You see people up in the race, and it doesn't matter if you're there to compete or to complete, but people up doing what they intended to do, and suddenly they're not doing what they intended to do. And it's grip strength and it's grip endurance. So get out there and work your grip.
Compete or complete?
Compete or complete. Either way, you need your hands to get you through it.
I mean, that sounds so simple yet genius. I think that should be the name of your training program.
Well, maybe I can't do that now. I'm not giving you a percentage of that profit. I feel like you've already trademarked that.
I might. Somebody said this. When is BK? I guess that's you, or it's Burger King going to take on the Savage course.
Maybe I'll do one this year in a Burger King costume.
That would be amazing.
The King. Well, there's one in Chicago, which is actually almost on the border of Wisconsin and Illinois. So that would be the one that would make the most sense. Although if I had to pick one, Matt, what course do you think I'd want to do? There are two courses that speak to me.
Well, I think you like Georgia. You've been here before, right?
Yeah, Georgia and Maryland. Maryland's the one I want to do. That's a nasty course. So we'll see. I would say maybe Maryland.
All right. Well, I'll have to find a new partner for that day. I don't know how I will, but
Kirk.
Okay, maybe Kirk DeWint from the Running Public.
How fantastic would that be?
Dude, honestly, it would be, but I feel like we might get super sidetracked.
That's all right. It'll just make it that much sweeter when we're back together.
You definitely keep us on the rails, and I feel like Kirk and I might go way off the rails.
People might prefer that.
All right. Well, listen, Bracken, thanks for hanging with me this weekend.
It's been a great weekend of racing. Feels like this signifies that the year has begun. The first Savage double of the year. We're here.
Officially started. All right. You want to do a quick shout out for the Running Public? I don't know. Just give you a shot to shout out
to all the Running Public racers who are out there this weekend. We had a lot of hybrid racers. Got a bunch of races coming up. Thanks for following the plan and putting the work in. And tune in every Tuesday and Friday.
All right. Take care, guys. We will see you